Today, I wanted to have a look at a couple of the Jot Boogie Board electronic writing tablets. I'd been looking at these for a while, and I thought they may provide a solution to a couple, I don't want to say problems that I have, but a solution to a couple things that would just make things easier. If you're not familiar with these, they're simply electronic writing tablets. If you remember the old Woolly Willies and Harry Harrys that some of us older folks had as we were kids, think of these as a modern, updated, more productive version of those. If you want to make a quick list, you just write whatever you want on it with the supplied pen, and it'll stay there until you erase it. And to erase it, you just have to push the button up here and it goes away. And there's really not a whole lot more to it than that. It comes with this kind of integrated pen, and luckily this was a Black Friday deal, so I was able to get an additional pack of 4, which are not specifically for this model, but they will work. Now, I know what a lot of people are probably already thinking. If you have a cell phone, why do you need a writing tablet? Well, for me, I end up making a lot of lists because I'm old and I forget things. So not only do I have to keep paper around, I've got to be able to keep a pen. And instead of going searching for those things, I thought it would be a lot easier and quicker just to have one of these electronic writing tablets. I do have a list app on my phone, but unlike probably the majority of people nowadays, I don't walk around with the cell phone in my hand constantly on it. So even if I do use the list app on my cell phone, I still have to go to that list app and see whatever it is that I wrote. Another way that I think the Boogie board would come in handy for me is when customers call, I can simply grab the board and write down their information and then transfer it to an invoice later. One of the reasons that I chose the smaller one is because it's roughly the size of a cell phone. The cell phone is actually a little taller, and the Boogie board writing tablet is slightly wider, but not by very much. Now, these use some type of system to erase the writing on the board that's activated when you push the button. You don't have to plug these in, you don't have to charge them or anything like that, but they do contain a battery. And I did not know this before I bought the smaller one, but the battery is not replaceable on this model. It's a sealed unit, so unless you can figure out a way to tear it apart to replace the battery, which I don't think is very feasible, you need to understand that this one is basically going to be disposable. Now, if you're getting one of these for a small child who's just going to scribble on it, possibly lose it or break it anyway, then it probably doesn't matter that much. But if you're looking for one that you can actually replace the battery on, you're going to want to look at one of the bigger models. This one, if I remember correctly, is an 8.5-inch screen. I was able to get these on some Black Friday deals. So the smaller 4.5-inch screen model was just under $10, and the larger one with the 8.5-inch screen was less than $14. The larger one is not going to be as portable insofar as being able to put it in a shirt pocket, but you're going to have a lot more writing area. And the big thing for me was the fact that right here, there's a small screw and you can replace the battery, which means the larger model is not going to be disposable like the smaller one. The larger one also comes with this cover, and it's really just stuck on the back, and it's not stuck very well, but I think it's good enough to serve its purpose. I do like the way the pen clicks into the bottom of the larger model a little bit better. Now, one thing to know is that you're not going to have multiple pages that you can write on with these. Whatever you have written on one page is pretty much what you have. And because I like to take quick notes and or write down customer information, I think these are going to serve my purpose pretty well. I had finished up the video for both of the Jot Boogie Board e-writing tablets, and I thought all I had to do was get the video edited and upload it to YouTube. But then I found something else. As I was shopping at Walmart, I found this EverSketch pad, which is, from what I can tell, basically the same thing. I don't think that I mentioned this earlier in the video, but I heard that Dollar Tree had a $5 version of the Boogie boards. Obviously not the same brand. It was some kind of other brand. And I went to 2 different Dollar Trees and couldn't locate one. But I was glad to find this one at Walmart, so we can open it up, take a look at it, and see if it's going to do basically the same thing at almost a fraction of the price. It's got some instructions here. Maybe we can get away without using those. It looks like the EverSketch has an on-off switch. So instead of having a button that's kind of separate from the unit, this just kind of has an integrated button on it. It also has a built-in holder for the little pen writing instrument. So let's just check this one out. And when you're done with that, press this and whatever you wrote is gone. I do think it's kind of not just interesting, but neat that it has an on-off switch, because let's say you got some kind of super secret formula. It doesn't get any secreter than that. It doesn't get any more secret than that, obviously. And you don't want to accidentally erase it. So if you turn it off, and it will not get erased. So I think that's a pretty nifty feature that's not available on the other two. And when you're done with your E equals MC squared secret formula, press the button and it is gone. Now I don't know if, I was about to say I don't know if it has a replaceable battery, but it does. Right here, just like on the larger model Jot Boogie board, there is a spot to replace the battery. So I'm a little bit, I guess, surprised in a good way that the $5 dupe of the Jot Boogie board seems to be pretty good. Now, I do know that it's very possible that the construction of it may be a little less than what these are. It may not hold up as long, and there's really no way to tell that other than using it for a long period. So I totally understand that. But so far as functionality, it's doing the exact same thing. It has a replaceable battery that the smaller Boogie board doesn't have, and it has the ability to lock out your screen so you don't accidentally erase anything. The size of the EverSketch is 6.5 inches, which makes it 2 inches larger than the smaller Boogie board and 2 inches smaller than the 8.5 inch. So it kind of fits right in the middle. When I checked the pricing right before this video for both of these, the smaller Boogie board was around $18 and the larger one was around $20. So that really makes the $5 EverSketch kind of a bargain at roughly only around 25% of the price of both of the Jot Boogie boards. This video is not anything against Jot. It's simply a comparison between the two Jot Boogie boards and the EverSketch. So at the very least, you have some options. You can opt for the original Jot Boogie boards or something a little bit cheaper. And maybe the cheaper EverSketch will be something to try just to see if you want to invest more money in one of the other two. You can see on the larger Jot Boogie board, I've been putting my grocery list there. So I've been really using it. I actually have not been using the small one very much, but that's mostly because I've been leaving the larger one out on my kitchen counter. It's always good to have options. So if you decide to buy one of these models, let me know down in the comments which one you picked and why. Did you choose the EverSketch from Walmart just because it was $5? Or did you opt for one of the probably slightly better built Boogie boards? And if you decided on a Boogie board, which one? The smaller one, which is pretty much disposable, or for the larger one where you can replace the battery and also have a larger writing surface. That's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed it or found it helpful, please give the video a like and also consider subscribing to the channel if you're not already subscribed. As always, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next video.